Hello everybody and welcome to another edition of As the Crow Flies Hiking. I thought I would do a little gear loadout video. I'm going to go on a backpacking trip this weekend just over to the Pinhoti Trail, which is in central Alabama. I've been on that trail so many times. I just love it. It's a great place to be. So I started packing my gear and I thought, well, might as well just talk about it and talk about some of the things that I'm carrying, switching up a few things, but then the old standards are pretty much what they usually are. First of all, the pack that I have been carrying for now, I guess 2 years, that I absolutely love is the Gossamer Gear Mariposa. It is a wonderful pack. If you're looking for a pack to beginners backpacking or intermediate backpacking, or to me even expert backpacking, it's a 60-liter pack, so it comes in at the mid-range. I know a lot of people go down to maybe a 40 or 50-liter pack, but I like the versatility of a 60-liter pack because it can take me on longer trips or shorter trips, just how I cinch it down. I love all the features in the Mariposa, and what I really like is this side pocket that is extended in height, so you can put longer things like hiking poles and things like that. So I thought I'd go through some of the stuff that I have and talk about it and see what you think. Maybe comment below. As I've always said on this channel, I'm no expert. I take a lot of information from you guys that watch my channel. I watch your channel and I find out things that would help me, and I evolve into hopefully a better backpacker with more experience and better ideas from you guys. So here we go. First of all, obviously the Mariposa I will be taking. I want to talk a little bit about my sleeping system this time. I've been using the Z-Packs Duplex, but it is really nice weather this weekend, and I thought I would switch it out a little bit. Well, first of all, I've always got a Sea to Summit rain cover for my pack. This is the 700D fabric. It's a large, so it covers a 70-liter pack, but I like it a little large. I can cinch it down if anything's on the outside. So that's the Sea to Summit rain cover that I have for my pack. Then, of course, I always carry this little medical kit. It's a little large. I think I got this at CVS years ago. You would buy 2 items and then you got the little pouch with it, so I carry all kinds of stuff in there. I won't go through that. I may go through that in some other video later, but it's your normal stuff, moleskin, extra lighter, that kind of stuff. Yeah, it's a little bulky. Probably something I need to look into about getting smaller. Then I've just got my little trowel and bathroom kit with some wipes and a little toilet paper in there, and then just the Deuce of Spades and some hand sanitizer in this little bag that I always take with me. But this time I've got this little bag I have. This came, I think I got these on Steep and Cheap. They were the Advanced Element waterproof bags. I'm not sure how waterproof they are, but they came in a pack of 3. The pack of 3 cost less than one of the Sea to Summit bags, so I thought I'd give it a try. And I've used them for a while and hadn't had any issues. But inside this is my 8.5 by 10 or 8 by 10 Light Outdoors sill tarp. I love this tarp, man. I got this off of their website, Light Outdoors. I looked around tarps, just kept looking, and found theirs, and they had it on sale a year or so ago. I've done a video on the setup of what particular setup that I'm going to have with this. So it's the Light Outdoors 8 by 10 tarp. I like the larger size. I think they have a 8 by 8, but I like the 8 by 10. It gives me a little more versatility in the rectangular shape. So I'm carrying that, and I am coupling that with the Pariah Breeze Mesh Bivy. So probably about a year ago, I went around all the different sites, Amazon, all the different gear websites, trying to find a good bivy. And Pariah didn't have these in stock, but I really liked the feel of this and the size of this. It's really wide. It has a a zipper on the top, and I'll probably show this, and if I do a video of the trip, I'll probably show this in the video. But this Pariah Breeze Mesh Bivy, for the price, I think you can't beat it. I mean, you can go to some of the other websites and find them for double the price, but the fabric on this thing, the bottom is really tough, and it's very wide, and you don't feel like you're in a coffin when you're sleeping in it. And so what I do is, with this setup, I take the bivy and I put the tarp in a rectangular shape, and use my trekking poles, hold it up, and then the bivy has attachment points at the base and the top, and I attach it to the tarp, and it gives me a lot of room off to one side to hold all my gear in. Now, you are open to the elements, but as I've gotten older, I kind of like that. I like to be able to see out, you know, where I'm sleeping and not be boxed in. So that's the sleeping system I'm going with. And with that, I have a piece of Tyvek that I ordered off of some website. I don't remember, but this is just a piece of Tyvek for a 2-person tent, and it's really served me well. It's super light, and you can scrape it off, all the dirt off of it when you're done. But I use this as a ground sheet under my bivy, and it's large enough that it also covers the area where I keep all my gear. So I think it's a great system. I always carry a trash compactor bag. As you may have seen in my other videos, this trash compactor bag does me well for a couple of purposes. If I have to stuff it down if it's a rain downpour or something, I'll stuff it in my pack. But otherwise, I lay it out when I'm setting up camp or breaking down camp. And so by doing that, I lay it out in any gear that I'm not touching or using. I lay it on this white sheet, the trash compactor bag, and that way I know where it is. And I don't have to go looking for stuff. Everything's together, and I don't lose anything. So that's what's on the outside of the pack, with the exception of this. Everybody always asks me what this is. Well, these are those cheap camp shoes that I always carry. And I always carry them in this bag, and they say, well, why do you carry them in a bag? Well, because they always get dirty, and I think they're still dirty from the last trip. But I'm telling you, this particular, it's got sand on it. This particular shoe, this little water shoe that I found off of Amazon, I think it was, I've done a review on it, it's on my channel, but I think they were like 10 bucks or 11 bucks. And I have used them now for maybe 2 years, and I use them all the time. I mean, for 11 bucks, you cannot beat this. They're lighter than Crocs, and they are very durable, and they have a sole to them, and they're a little higher than the ground, so you know, you can step in a little bit of water and still be fine. I use those things all the time. A lot of people don't use camp shoes, and I get that. Just something I like to use, so I use those. So here's my stake bag. I think in my last video I was talking about my stake bag. This is from an old Mountain Hardware tent, and it's a thicker denier fabric, and so it gives it a little stability and keeps it from puncturing anything in my tent. But I also couple that, and I've got to take a bunch of stakes this time because of my tarp, in case I want to do different setups with it. But I always carry in the tarp bag a rag. So there's my rag that I have that I put around the bottom of the stakes to even more keep it from puncturing the outside of my pack. So I've always kept that. Well, in my last video, I was talking about it, and I read every comment that y'all put on my channel, and I have some awesome people leave comments. They're so nice, and I don't know what to say, how nice the people are that comment on my channel. But a guy that always comments is Walt, and I apologize if I don't pronounce your name right. It's Reven or Reven or Reven. I'm sorry, but Walt always leaves a comment, and he's always super nice, and he's always super helpful. And so I think he hiked the AT a long time ago, and he always tells me, you know, about things that he did that have changed since then. And one of the things is, and so Walt, I had this because of your comment. I am switching from the rag to an old sock, and this is in appreciation of you, dude. I appreciate you making that comment. So I found this old sock, It's some old Christmas sock. It doesn't have a match. It got stolen in the washer bandit that always steals one of my socks. But so this is obviously not something I must have gotten at some Christmas party or something. But I only have one of them. So I am doing away with the rag that holds my steaks, and I'm going to what Walt suggested, which is to put my steaks in a sock inside my bag, and that will prevent any punctures. And it's great because it goes all the way around it. So thanks, Walt, and that's what I'm doing. So those are my steaks, go with everything. And then on the outside, the other thing I have is, I'm debating this. It looks like it's good weather. I always carry this umbrella. I love this umbrella. It's almost like a golf umbrella. It's so wide, and it's real compact, and it comes down real compact. So I may not carry it because it looks like it's going to be good weather, so I may not need it. But just when I don't carry it, it will rain, I promise you. And then, of course, I have my trekking poles, CNOC poles that I got real cheap. They fold down into 3 positions, and it has a nice little Velcro thing to keep them folded. I like to have the baskets on the ends because then it's real easy for me. I'm not a really good knot guy, so I just put the tie outs on the tarp on top of this, and the baskets holds it well, and then I take cord and run it to the ground, and that helps me with my tarp setup. So I'm not an expert on that kind of stuff. So these have been really good poles for me. They're not carbon fiber, they're just aluminum, but I love it. It runs a nice little line through it, plastic line with a metal core in it, and it folds down really good. And these poles may be a little heavy, but they've done well for me. I think that's everything on the outside except for the 2 standard smart water bottle and then a life water bottle. Really doesn't matter what you use, but I like to use these. And then Senior Hiker 77 gave me this aqua clip, which I love. I've been trying to use that on my belt sometimes instead of putting it back in my pack when I need water. So that's the outside of my pack. You know, a lot of people don't really think that it's very functional. This little top lid to the Gossamer gear, it has a little place to put maps and things, but I actually use it. I use it for ID and things like that, or money and a map or things like that. It's not, it folds down so you don't have a lot of volume in that little lid pocket there, but for little things that you need very quickly, it's good to have, and you just know that you can't put much in it because that folds everything down in there. So inside my pack, let's go in here. I have my clothing bag, which I hadn't gotten to. So I don't think I'm going to carry any clothing. I just got 2.5 days, so I can't smell that bad in 2.5 days, right? Well, I don't know. You won't be able to tell that from the video, but I probably will stink. But so I may not even take a clothing bag. Everything I wear is what I take. So that may just go to the wayside. But I always have it in my pack just to remind myself if I need to carry extra clothes. The next thing is my ditty bag. I know I've got a problem with my ditty bag. I've always said that. I'm working on it. It's a evolutionary process. Then my food bag is my standard Hilltop Packs food bag. Man, this thing has been great. I really like this bag. It's made so well. The stitching is so well. It's got the flat bottom, but I've got my cook kit in here, which is the Tokes 550 pot and the BR whatever, the little Chinese stove that everybody has. I've had it for years, and it has not failed me yet, so I keep using it until it fails me. And maybe I'll go to Snow Peak or the Pocket Rocket 2. Now, something that you may have seen in my videos that I always carry from Gossamer Gear, it is just a little, I think it's 1/8 thickness. This thing is just nothing, air light, like popcorn or something. It's just a real small piece of foam that I use underneath my sleeping pad. I mean, sleeping pads are so expensive nowadays that I don't want to pop one, so I use this to protect my sleeping pad. It is a little bulky, but super light, and so it's just kind of peace of mind that I won't put my sleeping pad on something that's gonna bust it while I'm out there. Then we go to my puffy jacket. I switched over to a North Face, I think it's called a Hyperball puffy jacket, but I'm always nervous it's going to get so cold, and I'm cold natured anyway, so I went back to my Mountain Hardwear one that makes me look like the kid from A Christmas Story, the little brother that the mama dressed up so much and he's running down and he can't stand up and he falls down and he can't get up. So I've got that one in here. I'm carrying it. I mean, you pack your fears. I'm packing this fear because I'm always afraid of getting cold, because I always get cold. Then I got my sleeping pad, ThermArest Neo Air X Lite. It's 20 inches, so my elbows will probably be off the side, but I've gotten it down to 25 degrees and I never feel any coldness from conduction, convection, whatever that is. I don't know science, but whatever it is that gets the cold from taken away from your body, I never feel it on this thing. This thing is just super warm. I don't know if it's those, if it's what's inside it. I don't know. Sorry, I'm not a scientist, but it is. It's been great for me. So I'm going to carry that this time. Just switch things up. And then lastly, I got my old standard. Yes, I have it in a Sea to Summit. Again, you pack your fears. So I really like this kind of heavier weight Sea to Summit. I know it's waterproof. I've actually, if you watch the video where me and my son went kayaking and he flipped his kayak, this Enlightened Equipment quilt was in this bag. It flipped and I was scared to death. Number one, for him, that was number one. But number two, that all our gear was gone. Luckily everything, well, this floated, number one, and number two, it sat in the water while I was trying to get my son out and it didn't fail me. So I know it's waterproof, and if the one piece of gear that can't fail and get wet, it's got to be my sleeping bag. Got to have it, hands down, not wet. So I always put it in this. Maybe someday I will let go of those fears and just keep it in the trash compactor bag at the bottom. But until then, I guess it's just I'm a creature of habit. So that's basically it. That's my pack. On the outside of my pack, I always carry one of these little pack towels. I don't know that I've used it in a long time. Who knows what kind of snot is on that thing from years ago. But I do carry that. And on the other side, years ago I bought the Gossamer Gear cell phone holder, which doesn't hold my phone now. But what it does hold is my power bank. So I keep my power bank in here and zip it up, and that's been great. And then lastly, on the outside is my Sawyer squeeze. I carry the Sawyer squeeze, and I carry the C-Knock bag, and I think I've done some video where I've shown that. But that's in this little Air Core sleeping pad bag that I like. It's a stronger fabric, so it keeps it really really tight in there and doesn't puncture anything. And then lastly, my old standard, the ThermArest Z-Seat. I know some people don't carry this thing, but I absolutely love this thing. I mean, whenever I sit down, I am sitting on this thing and love it, just to stay off the ground. But anyway, guys, I thank you so much for watching. I now have a gear explosion. We got a repack, which is good for me because I think I've done another video where I always repack my pack twice before I go on a trip. And there's always something I need to get rid of. I mean, it's inevitable that I'm going to carry something that I shouldn't have carried, and then I'll regret it when I get out there. That if it's buyer's regret, it's backpacker regret of carrying something, never using it during the trip, and going, man, if I'd have just left that at home, I would have not had to carry that for 3 or 4 days. That'll do it for this little episode. Hopefully I'll do a video of the trip when I get back. Appreciate all the comments from the last videos. Somehow I'm over 1,000 subscribers. I am astonished, and I appreciate it. Everybody that's watched the videos, it's been super cool to talk to you guys on comments. I appreciate every one of you. It's been awesome. And I'll do a video about that sometime later. Thank you guys for watching As the Crow Flies Hiking. I will see you next time on the next episode of this channel. Anyway, take care. Thank you for watching. Talk to you later.